Hello again. Well, a couple of things I want to share with you on this video. One is this Givy map carrier that I have, and it's got magnets which pop onto a steel tank, and it's ideal for my my maps, which are A4 size, which I print off the computer. I've got mapping of the whole of the UK Ordnance Survey maps at 1 to 50,000 scale, but the advantage of having it on the computer, it cost me £28 for the year to have that facility, is that you can enlarge it. So with my close sight, which isn't the best, I am able to enlarge it large enough so I can actually read it when I stop, not when I'm riding along, and that combined with the beeline gives me quite a nice option for exploring these small lanes. It zips into that bottom part like that, just slides in, and beneath that there's a secondary zip, which is over here, and in there I can carry extra maps sheets so that I can slip them in and out as we go. So that's that. These unfortunately are now discontinued, of course. I got mine off eBay, and they're nice because they're very slim, and that was a problem I had with a tank bag which sat quite high. That the way I film is with a chest mount camera, and the map carrier, the bag, got in the way of the filming. Anyway, that's my solution. It's got a nice security strap around the front, and very strong magnets. So that's one addition, but the more major one is down here, and here we have the Metzeler Karoo Street Tyre. Now the front one I'm expecting in the next couple of weeks. It's not in the country at the moment, but the very limited selection of this sort of tyre, and this is classed as an 80-20 tyre, 80% on tarmac and 20% on gravelly surfaces and off-road. And I got mine from Two Tyres in London. Chris is the owner of Two Tyres, and in conversation with him, he suggested there were three options for this Royal Enfield Hunter with the 17-inch wheels, and in this profile, the Heidenau, which is available from them, but also available from Hitchcock's, and that's a 50-50. That's pretty chunky, too chunky for me, and also too chunky for the front, unless you have an option of the Hitchcock's replacement mudguard, and that raises the mudguard much higher. So I didn't really want to go that option. The other one is the Kenda, and they produce a whole range of different sort of tyres, but I actually decided to go for the Metzeler. I liked the Torrance, but that wasn't available in my size. But this Karoo Street is front and rear, so very soon we'll have the Karoo Street on the front. Now, when I took the wheel out to put this tyre on, and that was ably assisted by my friend Ted, who also had a Hunter. He had a lot of experience of tubeless tyres and tube tyres, taking them on and off. So he came and actually put the tyre, took the other one off and put the new tyre on for me. I got the wheel out. Taking the back wheel out of this bike is easy. I looked at the Royal Enfield Meteor do-it-yourself YouTube guide. Now on the Meteor you have to have an assistant to tilt the bike, if you believe it or not. It goes on the centre stand just like that is, but you have to tilt the bike to get the wheel out. With the Royal Enfield Hunter you don't, because there's enough clearance here, it just wheels out. However, putting it back in is another story. What happens is, down here there is a spacer this side, and on the other side there's a spacer. And of course you've also got to deal with the disc brake and pads. Now they make it look very easy putting this wheel back in again on that do-it-yourself video, Royal Enfield. It's not that easy at all. What happens is the two spacers, this one either side, they keep falling out as you try to put it all back in together again. So you really need three people, one to hold the spacers, one to keep the wheel up, and one to slide the spindle back in. Well, I found it very frustrating, so it didn't work at all for me. So if you're on your own doing this, I made up this, which is slides in here, that supports the wheel in an upright position. It's just timber, and I've got wedges which go under here which lift the wheel up into place so you can line up the whole of this. And I also got myself a length of stainless steel tubing, exactly the same diameter as the spindle, which I could feed in from the other side to get it all lined up, and then it was an easy job. So if you ever intend doing this, either take it to a dealer and get it to do it for you, or knock up something like this yourself. Anyway, it's too early to tell. I'm still scrubbing in this tyre, but so far it feels very nice, and I won't really know until I got the front Carew Street on to really better explain that. It should be in next month video. That should tell you all you might need to know whether you want to have that fitted. I wanted it because I go down these little country lanes where there's lots of grit and gravel. Right, that's that, and we'll get back now to have a ride. Oh, many thanks for joining me on this ride. Always good to have your company. Right, we're just going to go for a run along these little country lanes to make sure that back wheel doesn't fall out, and also to check the chain tension once we've done a little while, a little bit of a ride, and yeah, check out the rear tyre. As you can see, the tank map carrier is well out of the way of the filming, which is all to the good. And we're just coming up to a little canal bridge. Yeah, we've got a bit of sunshine, look, that's nice. Not a lot, but we'll take what we can get. This is the just under the line to power station, that is actually, which runs out right over to Sellafield. What that used to be called, I can't remember. Windsor? I'm not sure. No, that's down the south of England. Right, yes, anyway, carry on. This is the tight bend over the canal. That's the Preston to Kendal canal. It doesn't go all the way to Kendal, unfortunately, as we have discovered. That only goes up really in bits and pieces once it goes beyond what's it called, Pine Lakes area. It's got another name, I can't quite remember. Anyway, let's just enjoy the ride, shall we? And I have been thinking, says, clearing his throat. Yes, I've been thinking about simplicity, because in conversation with two of my good friends at the Model Boat Club, Mark and Nick, who are very much into technology. Certainly Mark is. I am not happy, I have to say, unless I can actually understand something. I feel as though I'm out of control with it. Now I suppose that's why I'm not over fond of anything other than analog. I don't understand the digital technology, although I use it on this YouTube business. I do feel as though I'm not quite in control of it. Well, I'm not in control of it at all, actually, especially when Google tell me that they're going to take away one of my apps because I haven't used it, and that was the Beeline. Actually, they said, you haven't used that Beeline in 3 months. Well, that's not quite true, Google. I did use it. But anyway, they seem to think I haven't, so they've taken it away. For my safety, apparently, which seems very draconian. You know, I'm not happy about that at all. Well, that's one of the problems of using Google, isn't it? Android. I don't know if
the other, what is it, Apple. I don't know if they do the same sort of thing, but anyway, I'm not sure about that. So we'll think on that, shall we? And anyway, I shall reinstall it and continue. So now the summer's here, of course. It'll be summer's here? No, it's not. It's only spring. It's not even spring. It's perishing cold actually this morning, and yeah, very grey skies up there. So this isn't going to be a terribly long run. I think the whole video is going to be 20 minutes, which is about the right sort of length, I think. Got much longer, and it does feel as though it's a wee bit on the long side. I'm sure if you agree. I know some people like to have about 30-minute video, and some about 15. So it's horses for courses, as we know. Whatever you like. But it's a very pleasant day. It's yeah, dry roads again, which is nice, especially when you're scrubbing in a new tyre. It won't be too long before we get that front tyre on and trying it out, I hope. Pop across here and down to the village of Holton, and then up a little country lane which we've been along before, which is inevitably full of muck, mud, grit and that sort of thing. So it'd be quite a nice test for the back wheel, back tyre. Yeah, simplicity. I do, as many of you know who've been with me a while now, I do like my simple things, and these for a modern bike, these Royal Enfield Hunter is about as simple as one could get, probably. In fact, the single overhead camshaft design is somewhat easier than many of the machines I was used to in the past, because inevitably if you wanted to change the camshaft, you'd have to split the crankcase halves. That wasn't true of the Royal Enfield Crusader Sports I had. The Crusader engine, that 250cc engine, that was a lovely design actually, very much in advance of its day. It was designed in, I think, 56, 57 by Royal Enfield, and it was an elegant design, and it carried on right through until the mid 60s, late 60s, in various guises, various types. There was a Tyres version, which I always liked the Tyres version, I must say, and of course the Continental GT, which every young lad wanted, young lady too, let's imagine. But yeah, that Enfield engine, it had the pushrod engine, but the camshaft was over on the drive side, the left-hand side, which in those days, of course, the brake was on that side as well, and the gear change was over on the right. And that was actually driven by a small chain, that camshaft, and you could just pop the camshaft out easily, just take off the primary drive cover, and in those days primary drives were chained inevitably, generally, which I liked. You didn't get the whine that you tend to get with a spur drive gear, which is what they seem to be fitted with these modern bikes. So yes, I could easily swap a cam out and in a jiffy. And that's actually true of the overhead camshaft on these Royal Enfield Hunters and the 350 range, the J series. Right, here's our little lane. We're going to go over this cattle ridge and head on up. Slowly, because there are often sheep here. I don't see any today, but anyway. Yeah, so if you need to set the valves or things, if you want to do this work yourself, that's the key, isn't it? If you don't want to do the work yourself, it really doesn't matter. Unfortunately, I've got one of those brains that as I'm riding along, I'm hearing the engine, and I'm thinking to myself, is that how it should be? And it's been the same with everything I've had, unfortunately. I just can't seem to shift that mindset away from listening out for things. quite a steep climb up here through the woods. No bluebells yet, a bit early for that, but won't be long. You get bluebells up on the left hand side, up on the bank there. Now watch out for this cyclist. He doesn't have a mirror presumably, so he can't see behind. He can hear me coming, and they think, oh, is he going to get too close to me? Well, he's going to wobble across the road in a minute. Watch this. There he goes. Yeah. Get back over there. That's the trouble when you're climbing up a steep climb and you're on a bicycle, and you haven't got a lot of oomph. If you look behind it, very often you wander across the road, so you've got to watch out for them. So yeah, adjusting the valves on a Royal Enfield Hunter engine is not at all difficult. The only difficult bit is really getting the petrol tank off, pulling the connections off that, and making sure the tank doesn't have much fuel in it because it can be quite heavy. And there's also a couple of other breathers, evaporation devices under there, and they're a devil of a job to get back on again. Anyone who's taken the tank off one of these bikes. You also have to remove the coil, have to ease the coil out of the way, and getting the rocker cover back on again, and making sure that the rubber gasket on it isn't trapped. That's another hazard. So yes, nothing's easy, is it? But it is doable. It just takes a little while to do. So. But yeah, take it to a dealer. That's the answer. Get them to sort it out. They're expert in these things. They've done the course. I just enjoy getting my hands on anything mechanical. That's what it is. That's the truth of it, Peter. Yeah, quite right. Steep, tight bend here. Coming up to the end of the ride. A couple of minutes. Oh, and that sky is cleared nicely, hasn't it? Lovely bit of blue and puffy white clouds up there. Oh, that's good. It does feel different having these longer days now, daylight days, and the clocks will be changing just before this comes out. Actually, this video, on the 28th or 29th it is generally. I know in the other side of the world, of course, it's all the other way round, and you'll be heading off to winter, unfortunately, and that's not a nice thought, is it? Still, you've got autumn to come yet, or fall if you're over in the United States, as my friend Tim, Fellini Motorcycle is. Hello, Tim. Just come up into this, and thanks ever so much for watching, riding with me, and we'll see you again on a sunny day, and we'll get a bit further afield next time. Bye for now.